Hello, everybody. Gaz Williams here. And yeah, quite excited about this tonight because here we have the Soma Lyra-8. Now, this is... I've wanted one of these since I first saw them. I think it's a really fascinating synthesizer because it basically... It does its own thing. It eschews all kind of standards in many ways. And yeah, it does its own thing. Now, haha! Disclosure. I haven't even tried it once. The only thing I've done is touch it to see it make a sound. I haven't read the manual. Ho ho! How prepared am I? Anyway, I'm just going to put another light on, get a little bit more brightness in here. Okay. Right. Well, I haven't done a stream for a short while, and Restream has changed where the chat is, so I can't currently see any chat. So bear with me, chatties. For those of you who are watching this stream not live, then I suggest that you skip forward a little bit. I'll put in the notes where the action starts. But you might have noticed, though, I've got my new RC505 up here. And next to the Lyra-8, I've got the venerable Ventris from Source Audio, which I'm sure many of you who watch Sonic State will be aware of it. It's an absolutely terrific reverb pedal. Now, that's there on standby. We may use it, we may not. So that's there. I was on Sonic Talk earlier. I mentioned that I was going to be doing this tonight. At the very top of the show, I was talking about on the 505, it is possible to set this up as a send and return kind of situation. Now, I've theoretically plugged it in, but I haven't set it up, so that's why this is on standby. If things go well and I feel confident, I'll try and bring that in. But in the most, though, we're going to be focusing on the Lyra, because the Lyra is the star of the show, the Lyra-8, okay? And bit by bit, we're going to try and work out what on earth it is and how to use it. Oh, have I frozen? I'm just going to check. Let me see. Bear with me, everyone. I just getting back into doing these live streams, so I'm a little bit rusty, so there might be a couple of teething issues. Just checking things are working and streaming. You can just look at the Lyra-8 while I'm doing this. Can we see if the stream is live? What's going on with this? Okay, bear with me. Okay, are we looking all right? Let me just check. I'm going to switch back to me. Okay, we might have we may be frozen. Oh no. Okay. Maybe it's good. All right. Chat. Oh, I found the chat. Okay. Phew. Okay, so Restream has a little kind of a little change. Oh, and here's the chat. Okay, thank you, everyone. And oh, yeah, look at your lovely people joining the show. That's amazing. Amazing. Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, this is going to be slightly haphazard. Hey, it's the Gaz Williams Show. What do you expect? And let's have a look. Yeah, I can now see the chat. Just catching up with everybody. And again, thank you once more for joining me live. It really is really splendid when you join. So yeah, just catching up with the chat, just quickly having a look. And so hello to everybody. Great to see so many of the regulars there. Love that. I love our community. We've got a lovely supportive community. So if you are watching this after the fact, you know, and if you are in a part of the world where the time is suitable, I stream at 8 p.m. GMT. Is it GMT? Yeah, I guess it is. On a Wednesday. So hopefully I'm going to get back into doing these a lot more regularly. I have got some guests lined up for some future shows. So yeah, I mean, hopefully at some point I'll get it together and I'll be a little bit more organized. So thank you anyway for joining me. Yeah, it's highly appreciated. Okay, right, where are we? We are looking at the Lyra-8. So I might have to open up the manual here to have it, if there is indeed a manual. I didn't see one in the box. I'm just going to look on, oh yeah, specs and manual. Let's get the manual up. I have the manual open so I can at least, okay. So this is going to be handy because I can just read a little bit of the blurb. Lyra is based on 8 generators, which will be referred to as voices. Okay, so we've got 8 voices across here. And the design is not like a traditional subtractive synthesis VCO. Instead of having linear or logarithmic dependency on control voltage, they resemble the tone generators in old electric organs, hence the use of voices instead of VCOs. Okay, in this manual, it says Lyra uses non-linearity a lot, and the voices are constructed in such a way that allows for non-linearity to express itself. Whoa, okay, interesting. The voices are divided into 4 pairs, 12, 30, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8, not 12, 34, 56, 78. Whoops, made a bit of a daft thing at the end of the Sonic show earlier. I was looking at these, what are these numbers? 78, 56, what does it mean? 7 and 8, 5 and 6, etc. Yeah, duh. Okay, so quick little scan through here. So the voices are divided into pairs, yeah. So we can see that these are the pairs here. And each voice has its own tune knob, a fast modulation source selector, and sharp effect. 2 voices. The sharp affects 2 voices simultaneously. So I think without further ado, let's get it to make a sound. So there's no keys on here, but there are these kind of touchpad things here. So, okay, bit quiet. Oh yeah, here we go. Let's get some more volume going on. Back there a little. So you have to... Right, let's see. So I think I got some reverb on here, some delay on here. Okay, delay is off. Right, so if you touch one of these, it doesn't sound. It obviously needs to make that contact through your skin. Okay, so I'm just going to refer to the manual for a moment. Hey, tune in and watch this guy read a manual. How thrilling. Well, we want to make it thrilling because I think to understand this thing, I think it's really about, to a certain degree, understanding a little bit about the creator, Vlad Kramer. He is an astonishing man. I was fortunate enough to interview him in Superbooth. In fact, the interview, which I really loved, that we made with Vlad, we went out into the woods and we sat cross-legged. And actually, before the interview started, we just looked into each other's eyes. It was very romantic. But also, no, it was very spiritual. It was very calming. And Vlad is an artist. He is a wonderful artist who works in many different artistic spheres. You know, he's like a dancer as well as a musician, and I'm sure he is an artist in every sense because everything he does is just imbued with this incredible artistic notion. And he considers electronic instruments as a form of art, which I'm sure we'll all agree is. But I mean, he maybe takes it to the next level because his design ethos is really kind of based on experiencing things and connectivity, and it being quite a unique what do I mean by this? This box, for instance, you know, it's pretty much designed to be its own thing. Yeah, you could use effects and whatnot, and I've got it plugged into the looper, but really, you know, it's a standalone machine. There are some sockets around the back. We'll have a look at those if I can do that without it all falling over. But it doesn't have the mini jacks that you'd see on Eurorack. It's all kind of 1/4-inch jacks. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see what kind of things you can kind of connect this up to. I think some expression pedals might be quite good to plug into it. This is definitely something that I will return to in future episodes when I know how to use it. But, you know, I wanted to sort of explore it for the first time. This literally is the first time I've turned it on, and this is the first time I've heard it, really. Okay, so still scanning through the just checking in with the I've got a bit of a weird angle where I can see the chat, but Wagyu is saying he'll be getting me in his sensor suit next time. Vlad, if you're watching, I will happily get in your sensor suit. What a man, what a guy. He's great. Synth Addict saying, Vlad is great. I saw him play live with Cenk at Perfect Circuit post 2020 NAMM. Yeah, very friendly too. Yeah, he is. And the great Cenk, of course, sadly not with Electron any longer, although has been doing some really cool streams himself. Well worth checking out. Cenk is an absolute genius. Amazing. Okay. Hello, Andrew Garner. He says, this is like coming home to a nice casserole after being out in the cold day. Love this show. Thank you very much. I really like that. That is super cool. Yeah. So apologies to the messages that I've missed so far. I'm just going to focus on this a little bit, so messages may sort of whiz by, and I might miss some of that. Again, as I say, if you're tuning in after the fact, maybe skip forward a little bit and get more into the sort of performance side of things, hopefully, that we're going to do. Okay, so I'm going to keep looking through this manual. I mean, just a quick look through the manual. The manual is actually quite long. I won't bore you with the entire manual, but I'll definitely have it nearby. Oh, I'm just going to skip forward and read this little paragraph here. This is like mastering the instrument. It says, Lyra was conceived as a unique, fully fledged instrument with controls and playing techniques all of its own. Its knobs and switches are not mere parameter controls to set and forget. They are hands-on musical controllers meant to be played in real time. Particularly so, the tune, pitch, mod, time 1, time 2. So let's have a look at them. There's the pitch, the time 1, time 2, feedback knobs, and the FM structure switches. Okay, we'll have a look. Not sure which. Blah, blah, blah. The instrument will fully reveal itself when the player has developed an intuitive feel for the controls, much like feeling the strings on a guitar. This may require some time and dedication. So, to help you along with this process, a way to learn Lyra's key modes and techniques is described below. So I think this is a perfect thing for us to do together, because then I can go through this. Right. So set the FM modulation source selectors of the voices to be center position, i.e. off. So I'm not sure if I'm actually changing the right thing. Hold at 0. Here's holds. Yeah, holds are at 0. Pitch close to maximum. Okay, pitch, yeah, maximum. And delay mod at 0. Delay mod. Yeah, 0. And time 11 to 3 o'clock. Okay, which times? Okay, I'll just assume I'll put them at 12 then. And feedback below middle. Delay mix below 2 o'clock. I'll leave that at 12 then. And overdrive mix at 0. That's set like that. Okay, so it's now asking us then to let's try to build a musical scale. The lower the number of the voice, the lower the pitch. So if you know and hear the musical intervals, try to build scales or intervals. If not, just create a sound you find interesting. Next, try to intentionally get consonant and dissonant scales and harmonies. So, okay, so look, I mean, I think I'm just going to take the delay out for a moment, just so we can just actually hear the tonality of this. Ooh, see the big range on this. Oh wow. Oh, hang on, a bit of clipperoonie there. Let's just back Listen what that sharp does. Ah, so sharp is like a filter, really, isn't it? So we'll keep all the sharps sort of like, so it's kind of like really low. Actually, and let's get all these mods off. Ah, they must be the, okay, these are the LFO mods. Okay, so this is going to take a little bit of we got a loose, oh, look at that, a knob came off. That's that doesn't bode well. I mean, it really does feel like it's got great build quality, so I just guess that is that isn't right. Oh dear. Not sure. Okay, so that needs some attention because that's not sticking. Oh dear. If I press down, it'll work, but that needs fixing. I guess a tuner would be handy. Yeah, now there isn't a tuner in the 505 looper, which I think is a shame. I think a looper I think the looper should have a tuner because it's such a the looper, the 505 here is such a brilliant unit, and it's got so many cool features in there, but no tuner. So you'd still need to bring a tuner with you. I guess, you know, Boss can be a bit like that. They can be a bit like, well, we sell tuners, so you just have to buy a tuner. Yeah, but I would like, it would be really handy with this thing to actually use it with a tuner. Right. How's our levels? They seem a bit more, oh, they're still a bit hot, are they? Okay. So this sharp then, so I guess the sharp, the outputs of these voices then flow into a single sharp control. So 1 and 2 then share that sharp control. Yeah, so Nick Bat did say that the tuning can be a little bit finicky on this. There's no fine tune, so you have just got the single tune control, and as you can hear now, but it's this huge range. Anyway, we're going to go back to our little thing here. So it's saying, next, try to intentionally get consonant and dissonant scales and harmonies. Well, we've definitely got a dissonance going on. So I'm going to open up the sharp a little bit more. It's interesting, that sharp is very, again, very small movement, and so a lot of usable range in there. Okay. So it's saying, try building some chords with the 8 voices. Try interpreting the higher harmonies with lower bass notes. Try soloing with one voice on top of an interval or chord. So, I mean, so broken knob. Oh, it's disappointing. That is disappointing. But I need to figure out why that is. Oh, no. Oh, it is a little grub screw. So it's not broken. It just needs, that's a tiny, 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 tiny little flathead, slot head screwdriver there. So, so that's what I'll need to do afterwards. So all is not lost, but I'll probably try not to sort of jam on that control too much. There's a little spacer there that it seems that it needs, so I don't want to be losing that, because that is quite crucial. Oops. Let's just pop that back on. Yeah, I mean, these knobs, they do feel nice, and you can see that they are you know, they're partly metal knobs. So I think it just, the grub screw just needs tightening. So that's not a big deal. But as it goes now, it's just loose, and it just, yeah. So anyway, what's that, number 4? Maybe I should use that one and tune everything relative to that one. There, okay. Right. Hands, stay away from that tune knob. So I'm guessing, because I'm not using it alongside any other instrument, and my sense of, well, I've certainly not got perfect pitch, so I have no idea what kind of tuning we're working with, but I'll basically I'll work around that note. Tonality to it, hasn't it? So I'm going to make 1 and 2. Let's make them nice, like bass voices then. So I'll get it. Oh, it's trouser flapping. Yeah, once I fix that tune knob there, what is quite nice, they are really nice. They're really nice knobs actually to adjust. Even though you've got this enormous range, you can feel that you can dial them in kind of quite effectively. So that's cool. Tour I was on before Christmas, some of you might have, I was playing with Martin Carr, formerly of the Boo Radleys, the main songwriter there, and a great, wonderful songwriter and really innovative musician. Yeah, great catalogue of work Martin's got outside of the Boo Radleys, well worth checking out. But one of the things Martin was using, he had a pair of electric 12-string guitars. So tuning is certainly a big issue. So if you don't like tuning a 12-string guitar, then you definitely won't like the Lyra-8. But the tuning is part of the performance, though, isn't it? I think that is one of the kind of key things. With a lot of synthesizers, you might not want to, and especially if you are using them with other instruments, you're going to want to kind of lock it into concert pitch and leave it there. Whereas this, a lot of I think the joy of this is playing with that tuning. So, 1 to the manual and see what it's suggesting. Okay, so try building some chords with the 8 voices. Now try slowly changing chords. Okay, so we've been sort of doing that, not particularly successfully, but right. Now try transposing one of the voice groups while you're playing, thus simultaneously shifting several voices down. Transposing one of the voice groups. Oh, yes, with these pitch controls. So that takes them all in. Quite sure how many fingers that you're meant to have. Oh. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that's the gist of that first sort of step 1. Now I'm going to move on to step 2 here, and it says FM synthesis. So set the FM modulation source selectors upwards. So that one. Okay. So these all right. These are our FM source. Turn off the FM structure switch. This one. Turn down, yeah, so that's off, and then set the mod on all of the mod of the voices to 12 o'clock. So let's do this, 12 o'clock. Now what's this going to do? Oh, of course. Right. Let's explore the changes. Listen how the synth now reacts to touch in the sensors, and how the voice pitch is influenced by which of the neighbouring voices are triggered. Okay. Yeah, that's successful. Let me have a look. Now, try changing the modulation depth. Important. The higher a voice is tuned, the less sensitive it is to FM modulation. At the lower frequency, the higher the sensitivity. Try changing the modulation depth. Oh yeah, so we did that. So let's make some. It's kind of weird. It's sort of. This thing is definitely going to take some exploring. Again, if you're just tuning in, I've literally plugged this in for the first time. I got the manual open in front of me, and I am trying to figure it out. Yeah. Ron Cavanaro. Yo, Gaz, I love my Lyra. I hope you do too. Haha. I may have missed if anyone else in the chat has got one. So it might be kind of useful if I am sort of floundering somewhat to be able to get some advice. So saying, let's explore the near maximum positions of the mod knobs. Now I'm finding these mod knobs not particularly... I'm getting this really low. I've got everything set right. I think so. These things, I guess, should be... Okay. You see, this is the thing that is kind of quite you know, like a unique approach that Soma have taken, and you know, Vlad Kramer has taken with this, in that sort of, I know that all of the thinking behind it is you know, there's been a lot of thought gone into it, and when I saw Surgeon, I was talking on Sonic State earlier, I saw Surgeon performing in Bristol, in Strange Brew in Bristol. When was that? Maybe it was just at the end of lockdown. Well, I don't know, sometime last year. It was the first gig that I went to once things were starting to open up. And he was doing like essentially a drone set where the Lyra-8 was the centerpiece of that set. And it was astounding. It was so good. And I mean, he is a masterful electronic musician. And I was like salivating for one of these things. But it was great hearing it being used by someone who clearly knew what they were doing. And hearing just how huge it sounded. And pretty much everything else that they were doing. He had another guy with him who was playing some bass guitar through some effects. And he was really good. But by and large, the Lyra-8 really dominated the sound of that set. And yeah, it was excellent. I'm just checking in with chat room. I think by playing by ear is the key here. Yeah, it is definitely that kind of instrument, isn't it? So Wagyu, I think you have one too then. Yeah. Okay. Okay, just sorry about this. Just checking the chat room. Leighton one says, love mine. Just tune to your other gear and set it up for 8 different tones. Yeah. David Lynch suggested make a drone loop with your voice on the 505 and then tune to it. Okay, that's a good idea as well. Oh, Synth saying a cool trick is to put coins across the contacts of each channel to make hands-free drones as you tune in. Okay, coins. I don't think I haven't even seen coins for ages. I've just really been not. Okay, that is a cool tip though. Oh, a good old-fashioned British 2p piece would do the trick, I reckon. But yeah, okay, keep these tips coming. That's great. Yeah. Okay. Hold will sustain the voice groups. That's cool. So of course we've got, so that'll hold. Is that? Okay. Okay, those see, literally this is the first time I've ever had my hands on one of these things. So this is I'm loving it now. Yeah, that's great. I mean, obviously I haven't got the LFO going on, I haven't got the distortion going on, and crucially, I haven't got the delay going on either. So all of that's to come, ladies and gentlemen. Keep tuned because things will get more interesting. But yeah, that's kind of cool. Okay, I'm gonna keep and keep looking at this manual. So it's saying let's explore the near maximum positions of the mod knobs. The modulation chain will start to behave as an LFO. Try playing with this. It's an extreme sort of mode, yielding spontaneous responses from the instrument. See, I'm not quite sure why it does what it's doing. I don't know. Okay. Try going back to the organ mode by switching the modulation sources to the middle and back to the FM. So modulation sources back to the middle. Yeah. And back to the FM. What does that mean? Oof. Oh, I've tuned the voices too low. Oops. Oh, and the groups are also pitched way up. Oh, yeah. So our group pitches. Thank you, everybody, for the help. So you set the group tones to the minimum and retune. Okay, so that's interesting. So I guess those of you who know this, then, you know, I can see here as I'm. It's because I guess it's going down to that slow LFO kind of rate there. I've been told put the group pitch to mid. Maybe that is a good place. God, you guys, you all know it. You all seem to know it. I don't know it at all. So, yeah. The one I can't really change very easily. So I guess then if I get the whole... The sensitivity of the sharp, though. Okay. What does the mod do when the feedback CV is in the middle? Oh, gosh, loads of it. I'm gonna be really caning these notes, the live chat after the show. There's so much interesting, useful information going on there. Okay, so yeah, that starts to sound pretty cool, doesn't it? Okay. LFO. Assign LFO modulation to some of the voices and listen. Explore the summing and multiplying of various frequency A and frequency B settings. Okay, so we've got frequency A and frequency B. So let's get this on the go. The mix knob. If you still set the LFOs quite slow, it's easier to understand how they work. Okay, thank you. Oh my goodness, we got some awesome help going on here. Okay, so we'll try them slow. Let's get these. Let's. Nearly. Switching the LFOs. Are they not? Oh. Apologies, everybody. I had the switches down. They should be in the middle. Duh. All right. I thought for some reason I thought maybe they were off. I see. So feedback CV LFO 3 and 4. I'm starting to see the logic of it all now. Honestly, it'd have probably been sensible for me to have had a look at, just to have even had a look at this before I started doing the show tonight. Anyway, that doesn't matter. Okay, let's... Off the total feedback switch. be very interactive, isn't it? I mean, it says that at the top of the manual, that everything really affects everything else. And of course, that's kind of what you want it to do. What I need to kind of figure out. So thank you, everybody, for being patient with me. And oh my goodness, all the information. Yeah. With any analog synth, or any synth really, I always like to establish a starting point. So the Super 6 behind me, you can put it into an initialized mode. Obviously, the knobs and sliders won't represent what that mode is, but once you understand what they all should be, you can put it in manual mode where the sound will instantly go to whatever the settings are currently set to. But get into that initial mode and then working from there is a crucial way of getting on with any kind of synthesizer, really. So in time, and actually it's probably the thing I should really figure out with this, is the starting point. And then whenever I come to it, set all of the knobs and switches to the starting point, and then you take it away from there. And then, that then gives you a home base, somewhere to kind of work from. Total FB switch is saying down, pointing down. Yeah, that is down. That's right. I'm just going to look through what. Tune all the tune knobs to the same pitch. The mod knob is very sensitive and can kind of be overdriven. The same with the external hold, or the so. It's quite interesting. The scaling of things is really peculiar, I'm finding. Like this now. I was wondering, is that like some sort of release then? It really does seem to have a mind of its own. Now, LFO down on the voice. Yeah, I'm sorry, it's really hard to sort of follow the chat. It moves so fast, and when I look at it, everything's kind of moved. Hold will generate a sustain note. Okay, yeah, cool. So, take that one off for now. Apologies if this is a really tedious, horrible thing to watch someone try and figure things out. But I mean, my initial takeaway with this so far, though, is just how just big and mighty it sounds. And that's That feels really thrilling. It feels like it's got the potential to be a very thrilling device. Turn the LFO switch downhill. What? So it is down. Are they off in the middle and down? That's what I need to figure out. Let's get some delay in though anyway. That's what's next. So the delay has a modulator. So the LFO can modulate. Oh, that's going to be cool. So yeah, so something that Nick mentioned on Sonic Talk earlier, you can get this section as a Eurorack module. And I think I'm with the distortion as well. Chip that you see in many things. I can't remember what the number of it is now. is, I haven't even engaged the distortion yet. Let's do that, why not? Here it comes. Yeah, stereoize it with the Ventris. That is a good idea. I think what I will do then is, I'm not going to set this up as a send. I'll do that on another time. I will just, yeah, let's just do this. Let's take this from here. Just going to do a little switcheroo. Excuse me, let me take that out. Okay, let's bring that back in. Okay, one moment. Let's just re-establish sound. I'm just going to check on the looper. Let's just come out to here. So my input setup. Let's just making sure that my gains set correctly. Stereo link. We're gonna make sure our stereo links are set. Stereo link, yeah, on for instrument 1 and 2. It's good. And yeah, let's just get rid of that. Okay, just make sure that's all good. Okay. And then, okay, that's coming in. That's good. Stereo link. Okay. I can't quite see the text, right? Okay. And it's online input. Yeah. That's kind of cool. So let's get some sound if we can. Oh yeah. Sound, where have you gone? God, I mean, yeah, it's easy to make a kind of, it's easy to make a, just to make a proper din. Oh, my light. I had a light. Let's get the light on here. That's better. Is it better? Will be. Okay. David Ramirez says he loves his Lyra. I just wish he had one of the coloured ones. He has a boring white one. Yeah, I kind of wondered about getting the different coloured ones, but kind of went for the black. Kent Spong, hey, nice to see you, Kent Spong. Okay, so let's get some sound. Did I just mute it on here? Let's just have a check. Down into my. Okay, we should sound. This should be sound. Oh, hang on, I'm being an idiot. Let's just switch this around. Down. Let's actually come. The reason I thought I could just do a quick change. I should really have done that this way around. Uh-oh. Excusez-moi. I need to put that somewhere safe. The missing knob. I'll get that sorted. Okay. Unfortunately, the curse of the straight jacks making... Actually, maybe the Ventris can come out here a little bit. Okay, sorry, the Ventris isn't going to be totally in shot. Now, the Ventris is a reverb pedal. A deluxe is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful reverb. Oh, that's good, but it's only coming out on one side. Why is that? Oh, yeah, I reckon it's because... Let's just do it into there. Yeah. Now, the Ventris is a dual reverb, so it's got two separate reverb engines. But I'll just use it on one for the time being. And for now, I'll just use a hall sound. And then... Okay, let's get some level. Okay, Ventris coming in. I think the thing about the Ventris is, to me, it's always had a quality about the sound that feels much more like you'd expect from a kind of, you know, a really good quality studio rack reverb rather than a guitar pedal. Got a load of cool features. It's not the cheapest though, sadly. But it is a big lush reverb is always a bit of a cheat as well, isn't it? For making everything sound really cool. So what does this distortion sound like? Oh yes, very dirty. Take a look at that. Just change the mode of the reverb. The shimmer, why not? That's what we all want. I think the Ventris was a very good idea. we're getting somewhere with it now. I mean, obviously, if I turn the Ventris off, that's still a pretty cool sound. Tell you something I really love about this straight away, is I do have quite a lot of synthesizers, probably more than one should have, really. But I ain't got any like this. And in fact, with all my modular shenanigans I've been up to, there's nothing. I got nothing like this either. It's cool, isn't it? I mean, I've got a fraction of an idea of what's going on. So it's kind of possible to sort of play it like this. Starting to kind of get the gist of it, how your hands are meant to be all over it. That's the Ventris is doing something nice. What I'm going to do with the Ventris now, though, is, as mentioned, it's a dual reverb engine. So this is on Reverb A. We've got the shimmer. If I flick it across to B, it's a normal dome now, E dome, and then put them back, and then combine them. In the combined mode, these three controls essentially act as a mixer. So you get your dry, and then you get Reverb 1, and then Reverb 2. So you got this great kind of mixer mode, really, and this is with a little toggle switch in the middle there. And the idea being, you can then switch it into one of the layers to fine-tune the layer. So I mean, we're into a real dark ambient territory here. A few years back, I interviewed Adrian Utley, and I've interviewed Aid on a few occasions, but I interviewed him. He was on the stage during a performance of Barry Gray's music. It's one of my favourite features I've done for Sonic State. Barry Gray famously did the music for all the Jerry Anderson productions, Thunderbirds and Captain Scarlet, Joe 90. You know, terrific and underrated composer. And it was a concert conducted by Charles Hazelwood, in St George's Hall in Bristol, beautiful concert hall, and myself and Andy McCreath from Sonic State, we went and we carried out a bunch of interviews. There's a guy called Francois who was playing an Onde Martineau, and it was the Onde Martineau that actually used to belong to Barry Gray. Was the very thing that made the sound of the Mysterons. It's a great little feature. Strongly recommend checking it out if you haven't seen that one. Jarvis Cocker managed to. He sang on some of the songs in the concert. Managed to grab a few words with Jarvis as well. But the reason why I mentioned that was Adrian was playing his Swarm. What's it called? Swarmatron. Swarm synth, which. This has got some similarities to. This wasn't out when this feature, I think, was probably about 6 years ago or something. Is it the Swarmatron? I just need to remind myself what it was called. But that's a beautiful synth. The Diwanatron Swarmatron. It's an amazing synth. It's got this kind of weird leather, kind of like a ribbon controller, but like a strip of leather. And sort of a drone synth. I am cheating with a reverb a bit now, aren't I? I'm really loving, though, having my fingers on the tune controls and just tuning all the different oscillators. It's a very unique experience. I think I'm going to have a very nice relationship with this synth. So yeah, I'm sure some of you might have heard this, but last week I did my first ever live modular performance. It's on my channel. It's a fairly dodgy live recording of it. Only ended up playing for about 10 minutes, but really enjoyed it. Going to be doing more. This, yeah. So I wonder if we can see on this long shot here. This is the stand that I was talking about earlier on the show on Sonic Talk. It's called a stay. It's a dual tier lightweight aluminium stand, and it is fabulous. You can adjust. You can set these tiers to any height. It all folds into a carry bag, and it's really, really nice and lightweight, but it's really solid as well. So long-time viewers of this show will be no doubt aware of the wobbly table that I've used. Well, wobble no more. We have got a stay stand now, so things should be a lot more stable going forward. But what I've found to be brilliant with this stand is everything that I've kind of put onto it so far, different kind of combinations of equipment, it's worked really, really well. So I've got this new Eurorack case by a manufacturer called Damaru. I'm going to make a little video about this case and the stand, the combination of it, for people who are maybe interested in performing live with Eurorack, or even just having one set up at home. But I've been able to have it running, like having it flat, or having it, you can tilt it and put it on an angle as well. There's all these different ways of setting it up, and I'm just so pleased. Funny little story was, I was wanting a stand. Partly the reason I wanted a stand that was portable was I was thinking, so I've got some gigs coming up in the summer, which I'm going to be doing modular gigs with Steve Davis. Cannot wait. I don't know if Steve's if Steve's in the show tonight, but checking it out. But me and Steve have been making some really wicked music together, and it's a it's going really, really well. We're really enjoying it and making some great sounds. And for me, playing with Steve has been the thing that's kind of ignited my whole kind of modular journey. 'Cause I'm a band musician. I'm not a solo musician, really. I love to play with other people. For me, music has always been that rather than a solo pursuit. So once I started playing with Steve, I started to kind of understand what kind of modules and what kind of expressivity I wanted to achieve. And when we first started playing, it was a little bit hard to discern who was doing what. And I think, probably a lot of you will have experienced this. If you jam with kind of synths, it's like you can make all the sound. And really, it's not about making all the sound. It's about making a very specific sound that the other person can clearly identify and respond to. And that's what we found. The more we started playing, the more we started to kind of dial down what we were doing. So instead of trying to make a really big, impressive sound, make just much less of a sound. And then you have the ability then to really clearly hear what the other person's doing and do something that, hopefully kind of works together. I had a huge realization of how I wanted to sort of progress as an electronic musician. And I'm really thankful to Steve, actually. He's been very encouraging along my journey. I think he's a couple of years ahead of me with his modular kind of journey, but we've been kind of learning a lot from each other, and it's really rewarding. So we've decided that we're going to go and take this out and do some live shows. So we've got one booked in July in Birmingham in the Hare and Hounds, and I'm sure there's going to be more. So I will keep you posted because it's a really, for me, it's a real thrill. Steve's obviously well known for something completely different, but for me, it's more to do with how our journeys have kind of come together, and how we're inspiring each other with it. And super excited. So I digress. I was mentioning that because we want to gig on, when we gig, we'll probably do it via train. So the Damaru case that I've got is nice. It's like a briefcase. So it's really nice and portable. And I got this new rucksack that I'm really stupidly happy about, that can take the looper, all the power supplies and all of the different bits and bobs that I need. And then I was thinking, if you turn up to gigs to play, do not expect them to necessarily have the right kind of table, or even to have a table at all. So I thought, wow, if I could get a stand that could be portable, I could take on the train. So I got my rucksack on my back. And the rucksack's big enough to take some overnight stuff, toiletries, that kind of thing. And this, the Eurorack in this kind of briefcase, the Damaru case. And then with my spare hand, I can carry this stand. So I started researching stands and I found a stay stand. So I thought, I'll have a little look on YouTube. And I'd totally forgotten. I started watching this feature, and then it was me presenting this. I was like, that's kind of like a bit of a senior moment there. I'd completely forgotten about that. But yeah, that was at Synth Fest a few years ago, and because Korg are distributing these stands. I cannot recommend them enough. They are quite expensive. I paid 125 quid for this stand, but it feels really good. The quality feels good. It's incredibly lightweight, and it's super quick to assemble and to disassemble as well. So when I performed last Wednesday, in a way, it was like kind of a test to see how all of this stuff would actually work in the reality of setting up in a gig and, setting it up and breaking it back down again, and it not being too much hassle. And I thought the stand was really good. So yeah, But I mean, I like to stand up when I'm performing, and I'm obviously sat down now, but you can. I put this up here, and there's space for the modular to either lay. Well, I've been finding having a modular lying kind of flat, and then the looper on the top there is a great combo. So, yeah, I apologize. I probably will tell this story again once I've got it all with the modular and set up at some point in the future. But yeah, I'm kind of mentioning that because I'm a very experienced live musician, believe it or not, and I've been doing it, playing live for over 30 years. I've done a lot of touring, and I've played with lots of people, and I've done all, from the smallest venues to literally the biggest venues in the world. And on that journey, some things become apparent. One of which is, if things can go wrong live, they will go wrong at some point. So trying to be prepared for those kind of eventualities with having the right kind of gear, stuff that's not going to let you down, is super important. So I think that's why I think I wanted to get a stand that was going to be, fit for purpose. But it was a bit of a gamble. I wasn't entirely sure it was going to work right, but it worked like a charm, and I am super happy. And also, it also gives me a stand in here. This room is pretty full now. That is pretty small, and I can pack down, and it takes up like no space at all, really, next to no space at all. So there we go. Yeah, Stay keyboard stand. This is this isn't the tower one. My one is the slim, the Stay Slim. Ironically, which that's something that I've massively failed to do. But you can get the Stay Tower, and I think there's another one as well. I think there's 3 different ones in the range. There might be 4 now. I think there's one that's just a single tier, and this top tier. You see, you just like lift these parts out. This one has got the curved. You can see it's kind of like bent. That's kind of curved in on the top tier, which they do that so it's kind of good for laptops or smaller things. But I mean, it's called Stay, and it makes sense. It really does feel firm. And something really struck me about this stand is it's made in Brazil. Essentially a piece of equipment for music technology made in Brazil. And I started to think, I don't know any other music technology product made in Brazil. There we go. It's a challenge. If anyone in the audience chat room, knows of any Brazilian music technology product, I mean, this stand, yeah, it is music tech product, really, isn't it? I just, for a country that is absolutely packed to the gills with the most amazing musicians, I was just kind of curious. I mean, I'm sure there's lots of great guitars and certainly loads of percussion and, drums and whatnot from Brazil. But music technology, Brazilian Eurorack, says Lauren Rosa. Is there? Yeah, well, Goose saying there's a synthesizer company in Argentina. Yeah, I've heard about them. But Brazil, which is an enormous country with a gigantic population, there must be. Mac is saying Spectro Audio. Original Synth saying the best Monotribe MIDI adapter is made in Brazil, if he remembers correctly. So yeah, it's cool. It was just a kind of curious thing, really. Robert Fat Dust Hess is saying Atomo Synths. I've not heard of them. Wagyu says, but South America in general seems to be horrible for imports exports, so that's why it's rare. Okay, interesting point. Andrew Brooks, just looking now on elevator sounds at Damaru cases. They look really fab, but not cheap. They're not particularly cheap, but what I have to say about the Damaru cases, and I will make a little video about them specifically because it's blown me away how good it is. They're made out of aluminium. They're handmade. They are built to such a high, standard. It really feels, like I was mentioning about doing these gigs and stuff. It really feels like it's fit for purpose. When I went to Steve's, I went via the train and a tube, and taking that on the tube, I felt very confident with it because I mean it's not cheap. And one of the things Damaru do with their cases is there's no branding on them from the outside. It's just incredibly discreet. And that is, if you're taking things on the train, I've got Arturia rack brutes, and I've got the cases for them, but they're these blue cases with an enormous Arturia logo on them. It really shouts, "Look what I'm carrying, everyone!" And the Damaru cases, though, if you are interested in that sort of thing, they can make them custom to to whatever size dimension that you want. And actually, Damaru are now based in the basement of Elevator Sound in Bristol. And upstairs in Elevator Sound is Jack with Beep Boop making modules. So there's a whole lovely little cottage industry there around Elevator Sound. So I'm delighted all that's there, living in Bristol and having all of that kind of stuff going on. It's really cool. Okay, so I think I'm going to probably stop now. Thank you ever so much for joining me, everyone. This was, again, like a first look, really. You can see with the Lyra-8. I'm going to have some fun with it now with the pressure off, so I don't feel like such a fool. Thanks again, for joining me. I'm going to try and be a little bit more regular with doing live streams. So if you enjoy these, please, all that business, subscribe, like, click the stinking bell. I haven't said that for a while. If you're so brave. But I've got. Oh, my goodness, this horrible pandemic hopefully will be coming to an end. I mean, Britain, or certainly England, seems to be opening up a lot more now. I should confess, I've got COVID at the moment. I'm not very well. I've done this show. I've brought you a show whilst I've got COVID. Hopefully, I'm going to be, it's going to be, hopefully, I'll be well soon. Second time in just over 2 months. Grr. Yeah, so COVID is a drag. So big love to all of you out there. And if you have got it, that you'll make speedy recovery. Yeah, what a drag. I had to cancel a gig on Saturday, which was just a really gutting thing to have to do. People have been lovely and fully understanding, which is great. But yeah, it's definitely a rubbish thing, this COVID. But yeah, hopefully things will start getting back to kind of normal. I've been ever so thankful for music technology over all this lockdown period, though, as I'm sure many of you will have done as well. That getting really engrossed in things. I think this Lyra-8 will be just a really nice thing to do, quite meditative and just, Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your lovely comments there. Really appreciate that. Can you catch COVID on the internet, says Mac. Well, good God, maybe that's where I got it from. I can still manage to avoid it. Well done. This is my second... Yeah, twice. Yeah. So it's it's weird, isn't it? I mean, I think the first one I had was the Delta variant, which was really horrible. I mean, I won't get into the vaccination thing, but I am triple jabbed, so make of that what you will. It certainly doesn't stop you catching it or passing it on to others, but maybe it doesn't make you as ill as you could be. But that's, I don't want to stick into the hornet's nest on that one, other than I haven't been that ill this time, which I'm assuming is the Omicron. I haven't really had any symptoms, not really, other than just like tired, just very tired, and actually just really want to sleep. In fact, just before the show, I just wanted to go to sleep. And I was thinking, oh no, I promised to do the show. So I might go and sleep. Max got the Dreadbox Omicron oscillator. Yeah. But thank you very much for your nice comments. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. It's, yeah. Yeah, yeah. So I know that this. I mean, one of the things that's so upsetting about this whole pandemic, I think, though, is all the divisiveness that's been going on. You know, we're in this period of time where people just really are at each other's throats all the time, and it's so sad, really. And I understand caution around things like the vaccine, but at the same time, you know, from my, I wasn't forced to take the vaccine, I guess, but I chose to do it. And subsequently, I haven't been that ill, so I guess that's all I can go on is my own experience. So I'm kind of glad. I'm glad I did, but just it ain't over. It ain't over yet. So yeah, England is talking about all sorts of things, even ending the legal isolation time, which seems a little bit strange. But yeah, I really want to get out of the house. Divide and rule still works, says Original Synth, and sadly that is the case, isn't it? Keep everyone divided, keep them fighting against each other. Yeah, not us. We've got a community, a global community, and we will not be divided. We will stand together. We can have arguments about analog and digital and whatever else, and modular and software or whatever, but ultimately we are bound together by our love of music, and that is a wonderful thing. It gets us through the day. It gets us through. I've said this many times, and I'll continue to quote him. Frank Zappa said, "Music is the best." It's one of my favourite quotes. He's not comparing it to anything. It's just an absolute statement. Music is the best. And so far in my life, I would absolutely concur. And wherever I mean, music's taken me around the world, and I've met people. I've met so many people, and music has been our reason, our coming together. And wow, it's the best. It is the best. So peace and love, everyone. Spread the love. We need to do that. Be kind, even to people who don't deserve it. Yeah, that's the motto, I think. And I'll be back soon. Yeah, music is one of the things we all live for. Yeah, it is. It is. I really don't know where or what, or if I'd still be alive if I didn't have music in my life. I mean, my goodness, and the friendships and the adventures and the thrills and just the emotional kind of, I feel like I'm more emotionally mature as a person because of music. Playing music with people really strengthens, your emotional bonds. I think it's, here I go, just before I go, something that I find extremely annoying, in Britain, sort of during this kind of austerity measures over the last sort of, 14 years or whatever it's been, there's been a huge cutback in peripatetics, music education, huge cuts to that, and a general devaluing of it as something that is important. But music lessons, playing music isn't just about trying to be a hit band. It's about nourishing the soul. It's about I think learning to really get on with people in a really deep and meaningful way. There's so much of an encouragement of sport, which quite often sport is kind of making you competitive about people. But, music really isn't really competitive. Music really is quite the opposite. It's about bringing people together and harmony and that kind of thing. Josh Phillips saying he missed playing in bands with friends. Yeah, if you can, meet up with people. There's so many people out there. There's so many lonely people out there desperate to play with other people, Yeah. I mean, with my, I play in, how many bands do I play in? So I play in the Charlotte Church Late Night Pop Dungeon. I play in Rumbelows. I play in Rocket Gold Star. I play in Asteroid Deluxe. I also, what else do I do? Those are the main ones I play in now, but there's a bunch of other bands and artists who I play with. Martin Carr in a Martin Carr band. And obviously playing with Steve as well. So, you know, I've got lots of different acts that I play with, and that each one of those is a completely interesting and different experience, and is just a wonderful thing to do. And yeah, so please, if you just everybody reach out to one another. Everyone wants to play with people, you know. So yeah, don't be shy. Yeah. Thanks for all the love, everyone. I feel charmed. I feel blessed, and I just feel incredibly just humbled by having you all join me for this time. You know, it's lush. Right. Bye. Take care.